Howdy guys. Today I'll be comparing and contrasting the Pilot Vanishing Point and the new Platinum Curidas. I'm seeing a lot of discussion right now online about the Platinum Curidas, especially comparing it to the Vanishing Point. So I thought it'd be interesting to dive in and take a look at them. Okay, so this is the Pilot Vanishing Point in the matte black with the fine 18 karat nib. This is the Platinum Curidas with the steel medium nib. I purchased my Curidas from Bittner. They were really lovely to work with. I sent them an email. I asked them if they had any of the Abyss Blue still in stock. This was a few weeks ago, so I'm not sure if they still have them or not. As you're all aware, I'm sure that this whole COVID-19 thing has messed up all kinds of supply chains, etc., etc. But Bittner gave me a call back and they got it right in the mail. They're really lovely. Recommend them very much. The Pilot Vanishing Point is quite a bit shorter than the Curidas. I don't know if you can see that. This knock on the Curidas is just enormous compared to the Vanishing Point, and they are both large knocks, but this Curidas knock is enormous. Let me show you compared to a Parker Jotter. So you can see those knocks are just huge. Interesting thing about this Curidas knock is when the converter is in there, you can actually see the very end of the converter in that knock. Very interesting design. I'm going to take apart this Curidas just so you can see the mechanism inside. This barrel just unscrews. It's just plastic. And then inside here, there's this little mechanism. This little peg goes into this little canal. And to take this out, you just push it up, slide it over, and it slides down. And then similar design to remove this nib unit. This little peg here slides over and up, and there you have it. You can put in the converter, you can throw on another cartridge, very easy. A little different than the Vanishing Point though, so definitely worth knowing. That goes on, put the peg in, slide it over, throw this in here. You gotta push on this a little bit because it has this big spring. The peg goes in there, over, and back out. There's a lot of plastic on the Curidas. I'd like to see them maybe make it a limited edition one, or well, who knows, something with a little more steel in it. The way Platinum's been going, if they do a limited edition, it probably won't be cheap. But that's the Curidas. This Vanishing Point, I think, is a little more easy to take apart. Just unscrew it here. This pops out. For those who don't have experience with Vanishing Point, this does have a little knob on here that fits into this portion to keep the nib straight. So you can see, so it can fit out that little trapdoor. Now, for those who aren't a fan of the Vanishing Point clip, the Curidas attempts to tackle that issue with this removable clip. The box here that came in just a normal old clamshell. Whoops. Came with this little tool. I'm not sure if you can see that. But it just goes on here and it just pops that clip right off. I'm not going to do it. The clip doesn't bother me. I've heard reports of people online removing the clip, taking a Dremel or some light sandpaper and just removing those little nubs that hold that clip on there. Doesn't bother me, so I'm not going to mess with it. These trapdoors look pretty similar. The vanishing point trapdoor is pretty hard to see unless you look down into that little hole there. But the Curidas see through here so we can see it operate. Very nice. This trapdoor on the Curidas kind of pops out into this little knob on the underside of the barrel. I've heard people talk about how that bothers them. They don't like that aesthetic. Maybe it bothers them when they're writing. For me, I don't even notice it when I write. I don't mind it at all. Platinum is advertising a slip and seal type mechanism on the Curidas similar to the 3776, where it can sit in your desk drawer, it can sit in your pen sleeve, and it won't dry out. If you listen carefully, I'm just going to pop that slip and seal. You can listen to it. Hear that? It sounds like suction being broken. I haven't really had time to test that much. As I mentioned, this is a pretty new pen to me, and a new pen to everyone, I guess. Let's talk a little bit more about these knocks. When you click the Curidas, it makes a nice, satisfying clunk. Really like the way that it feels when it clicks. The vanishing point has a little less travel, feels a little bit tighter maybe. Both very solid mechanisms. Honestly, they're both really great pens. This vanishing point is my wife's, so I don't actually use it very often. But this Curidas is really nice. It's thick. It doesn't bother me, but if you like smaller pens, you probably won't like the Curidas. I do wish that knock could be a little bit shorter, just because it's so long that it's a pretty tight fit here in my favorite pen sleeve. But it's all good. It fits, just with a little bit of effort. I'm going to switch over so you can see a writing sample, and we'll discuss the converters a little bit. Alright, so I'm back with the vanishing point and the Curidas. Real quick, let's talk about converters, as long as we're doing some writing. This is the Platinum generic converter, same thing that goes in the 3776. This is the Pilot Con 50, discontinued Con 50. These are really great. This one's really dirty, but these are really great. If you can find a Con 50, very much recommend them. They don't hold a lot of ink, but they hold more ink than the current converters that they're selling. They also give me a whole lot less of a headache. Anyway, heartily recommend the Con 50 if you're going to be purchasing the Pilot Vanishing Point. As I understand it, all the US retailers are shipping the Platinum Curidas with this platinum converter. Might want to just double check with your retailer that you're planning on purchasing it from. Alright, so let's put those aside. Now let's do some quick writing here. I'm writing through a camera here, so be patient with me. Handwriting's probably not that great. Let's do a quick, you know what, let's start over here. Quick brown fox. That's probably sufficient. And this is the pilot finishing point. And this is the 18 karat fine nib. Really great. Now for the Curidas, I feel like I'm loading a mortar shell whenever I push this knock in. Very solid feeling, so much travel. Okay, enough playing. Again, this is the Platinum Curidas with a steel medium. The quick brown fox. Really lovely pins. As for recommendations, I would say if you have the $150, if you're wanting the gold nib, if you're wanting really solid metal design, maybe if this clip isn't too annoying for you, then highly recommend the Pilot Vanishing Point. If you want the removable clip, if you're not so concerned about the gold nib, which, by the way, the writing experience is more or less equal as far as I can tell. Sometimes you can kind of tell that a gold nib feels a little bit more luxurious, in my opinion. However, with these really, really stiff retractable nibs, they're almost identical. So yeah, if you want to keep the price down a little bit, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this Platinum Curidas. I'm really excited to see if they come out with some special edition Curidas, maybe with an opaque design, maybe a metal design. They could do some really cool stuff with these. Very, very much recommend. If you have the money, get both. We fountain pen people kind of have issues, don't we? But they're both great pens. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.